Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast, where we explore creation, existence, evolution, and consciousness itself from inside through conversations with universal beings. So, I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is actually part 107 of the story of creation, a series that we've been working and collaborating with the creator and other universal beings to bring you the origins of human existence, the origins of universal existence, and the awareness that has been taken away and that has been forgotten for tens of thousands of years. So let's see who's here and what they have to share with us today. So, gosh, for a moment there, I felt like Romper Room. You know, when you have the mirror and it's like, or the whatever it was that she held up and she was like, and I see this person and this person. So I was laughing because I'm like, that's kind of how I felt like with the universal beings. I'm like, let's see who's here today. Anyways, I digress. Okay. So part 107. So in part 106, we were talking about shapeshifting and we just cracked the surface. And so today we've got the first stream angelics are here, and we are going to be exploring shapeshifting even more. And what he's showing me, so he in this case is the first of the first stream of angelic. So the high angelic, basically no one's better or worse. It's just understanding he was the first being that the creator ever created. Okay. And so ultimately, he is here and he wants to explore. We're going to go into shapeshifting, but what he wants you to understand is matter is simply magnetic. So, whatever your intention is the pole, if you will. It's the charge that really attracts the magnetic reaction from matter. So it's actually pretty simple, but it's understanding that that whole concept, right? Intention becomes energy, becomes experience, right? That's how existence, that's how matter is created. That's how existence was created. Everything is created through that model. Okay. But it's understanding that your intention needs to be pure. It needs to be based on universal purity. So if you want to understand more about purity, I highly suggest you pick up a copy of Believe. It's basically, it covers the 9 fundamental energies in universal existence and in human existence. So what your origins are based on. And what he's saying is your intention needs to embody purity. Why? Because if it's not pure, you won't be able to withstand and uphold the energy necessary to get to the experience part, right? Because what will happen is you will create an intention, and then your energy will fluctuate, and it will fluctuate based on your emotional reactions. Okay. And so what they're saying and what you need to do is understand that it all comes back to your intention. So what is an intention? That's a great question. What is an intention? So an intention is let me just feel into this because they're being very, very specific. Okay. So an intention is your capacity to withhold, or not withhold, withstand. That's it. Like it's to hold, right? To, yeah, withstand the pressure of past experiences. They're being very specific with words. In order for you to hold the wisdom of what you know you're meant to experience, you're meant to participate in, you're meant to fulfill. Okay. So it's a two-parter, right? In the first part is understanding that you have to be able to hold the energy, right? And the second part is knowing that that experience is meant for you. Those two are vital to fulfillment and success in your life, in your existence as a soul, in your existence as a human being, but also your existence as a universal being. Okay? Because when your intention is pure, okay, you embody those two aspects. So you have the capacity to hold the energy. What does that mean? It means that no matter what's happening around you, no matter what someone says, or no matter your circumstances, your mental, emotional, physical circumstances, your financial circumstances, your relationship status, no matter what, you're still able to 100% hold the intention. Okay. Now, intentions are not hopes and dreams and wishes. Okay. We've talked about that in past episodes. If you are interested, I highly suggest you go back and watch the series from the beginning, because we are very, very clear here. This is not about hoping and wishing. That's not an intention. Okay. An intention is a clear signal that you set to the universe, so the entire universe conspires to ensure your success. Okay? Now, that's why you also, so not only are you going to withhold, like you're going to withstand and hold the energy, okay? Very specific. So holding the energy, where does the strength come from to hold energy? It comes from your past experiences. And it comes from your struggles, your trauma, your lessons that the universe has given you to say, look, you're stronger than you thought you were. Look, you're smarter. Look, you're more creative. Look, you're more whatever it is. You're more committed than you thought you were. All of those things. Your challenges taught you all of those things so that you can come to this place where you 100% recognize that you have this dream and you have this goal. You know, the one that you keep inside that you don't actually want to tell anybody, and chances are pretty good you haven't even told yourself yet. You're just focused on all the things you don't love in your life, the people you don't like, the aspects, the small ones, but there's not that part of you that's actually said, I just want to go do this. And the reality is, we can't get to that place where we just want to go do that because we're so caught up in the dynamics of being human and living in this physical world and really working to please others. Okay. And so what happens is when you blend these two aspects of your existence, okay, into one, your intention has the capacity to withstand any challenge. So if you're not coming to that place where your intentions are fulfilling and bringing results, it's because your energy in the middle, right? Your energy isn't sustained. And that's for two reasons, very specific reasons. Number one, you don't know who you are. And when I say you don't know who you are, I mean as a universal being. You don't recognize your place in existence. That's how big this has to be. In order for intentions to become fulfilled, you have to 100% recognize that you are an integral aspect of universal existence. The second aspect is, so you are recognizing, right, that you belong here and you're holding that energy. That recognition of all those traumas, all of those challenges and those heartaches and hardships that you've endured have prepared you for where you're going. And we have been taught to use that information to prepare us to protect ourselves so we don't fall into a trap again, so we don't get hurt again, so we don't fall prey to that again. So all of those are based on fears. So if you use that as your energy in between, your intentions will never be fulfilled. Because your fulfillment plan is based on fear. So all you're going to experience at the end, the experience itself, will be based on fear, more dynamics, more challenges. Starting to see the pattern? Ultimately, it's that combination of recognition, okay, that your life, your goals, your reason for existing are creating these longings inside of you, these inspirations, these far off dreams that you think, oh, how is that ever going to happen? How is that even possible? The reality is you have that inspiration for a reason. And not only is it possible, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Just like every challenge you've ever endured and overcome, it's meant to be. It's prepared you for knowing what is right for you and when you're meant to participate in it and how you're meant to participate in it. Okay. So what does that mean? What does that look like? That means when you have inspiration and you're like, oh, I don't like my 9 to 5 job. I don't like feeling like I'm on a clock and I have to do all of these things for someone else. Whatever your reasons are. Okay. But it's understanding that you're having that experience for a reason. Okay. And so maybe you want more freedom in your life, and that's amazing. So the universe is going to give you more freedom, freedom to do things yourself, freedom to explore your potential. I want to be very clear here. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to work less. In fact, oftentimes it means you're going to work more. You're just going to have the freedom and flexibility to decide when you are going to work. Because the truth is, for any experience of fulfillment, it takes effort, a lot of effort, right? If you want big fulfillment, you got to put in big effort. They go hand in hand. And we're living in a society currently that is absolutely exhausted. We're exhausted because we have been trying to keep up with a system that demands our consistent time, our energy, our focus, and our obedience. And as a result, we're exhausted and all we want is a break. And I want to be really clear here. Those inspirations, I'm not talking about holidays. I'm not talking about, I need a break from this. I just want to take a year off and go on a sabbatical. That's not what I'm talking about. Inspirations that I'm talking about are you recognize something in your daily life that if a change is made, it will change the course of human existence by allowing humans to have an absolutely different experience. And this is what we're doing. This is what we're currently creating. We're creating the future of human existence. That's why you have these inspirations. So instead of thinking, oh no, I could never do that. I'm not important enough. I don't have enough money. I'm not strong enough. I'm not valuable enough. All the enoughs. Your job is to start to go, well, why me? Not why me? I could never do this, but why is the universe showing me this opportunity? And that's the key word right there, opportunity, because it is an opportunity and it's the one you're meant to fulfill. Because right now we are living in a world where everything needs to change. Entire industries need to change. The medical system needs an overhaul. The financial system 100% needs an overhaul. The food system needs an overhaul. I laugh because we had a very great conversation last week about food and how it's killing humans and how it was strategically designed to do that. That's why I'm get laughing. But all of these systems need a complete overhaul. We're not at, let's fix the system and hope it'll work better. No, no, that's not what's happening right now. We are literally changing and creating the future of human existence, a level of change that has never been seen before. That's why most people don't know what to do. They're sitting there on the sidelines going, oh, how can I help? Oh, I just need to make money. Let me just do this and let me do that and I'll make some money over here. And then there's other people who get it. And when you get it, again, you know that energy I keep talking about in the middle? Their intentions are so pure, they don't question it. And when I say don't question it, they're constantly questioning it, but they're never stopping, right? So for example, I've been doing this work for over 20 years. It's been over a year that I've been doing the story of creation, and again, my intention was to help millions and millions of people because that's what they showed me I would be doing. And I don't have that many followers. I have very few. I have an extremely, incredibly engaged private community. It's huge and it's amazing. Well, it's small. It's huge. The conversations we have are huge, but the community is small. And the reality is I keep going. I keep going and it doesn't matter because I know I'm meant to do this work and I know that the shift is going to happen. Right? There's people out there who they're doing incredible work to take down pedophiles, and there's others who are taking down all different aspects, okay, of like human trafficking, and they're just incredible work. And again, they're not fighting against the system. And this is what the illusion that's being caused, right? So the media will report it as though they're fighting against a system, but they're not. They're literally creating a new system. Okay? When you create a system that takes down the people who have created this mass turmoil and suffering in humanity, that system will stand. But it stands because the energy is so pure. The systems that are failing are the ones that have no purity, guys. The ones that aren't working, that don't flow, it's because they have no purity. So their intention, or original intention, lacked purity. It was purely on greed or self-fulfillment. It wasn't what's best for humanity moving forward. And we're seeing that now more than ever before. And I don't need to point out examples because you can see them. You can see them all around the world. The truth is, in order to fulfill your mission here, okay, you have to stop worrying about other people's mission and how they're impacting you and how they're affecting you and how they're potentially, you could run into trouble. You could this will block you and that'll block you. You have to stop. And you just got to get up and you got to keep going. Every time there's a challenge, remember, your challenge is the universe reminding you you're stronger, you have more courage, you're smarter than you thought you were. All of those things. They're not, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting another challenge this week. We've had 3 or 4 already. If you've had 3 or 4 challenges in a week, that means you're onto something. It means you're moving in the right direction. And it means you're being asked to see a bigger picture from the universal perspective rather than the human mind's perspective. I know it doesn't look pretty and it doesn't feel comfortable. I know I'm living it too. 100%. And there are times where I'm just like, okay. But then I have that moment. I give myself, a few minutes, sometimes an hour or 2 because it's more intense. I have my pity party. And then I pick myself up and I dust myself off. And I look at where I'm going. And I looked at what I learned from that experience. And it's reminding myself that no one's against me. No one's against me. No one with pure intention is against me. And that's the point. And the universe is saying, I was tangled up somewhere and it wasn't wholly pure. And we need to just tweak this or realign this so we can come back to purity. Maybe this partner wasn't a right partner because their intention wasn't pure enough. Maybe that supplier, for whatever it is that your product is, maybe that supplier wasn't pure enough for the product and the intention. It's not, oh, this will never work. It's remembering why you started it in the first place and then allowing yourself to grow. And maybe your product needs to completely change because you've completely changed. And it's not worrying about the people you're leaving behind. It's remembering that where you're going is what the people are going to need and what the people already need that they don't even know they need. It's just the way it works. When you follow universal existence, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I can tell you that when I am exploring the universe and I'm on explorations and I'm, getting information, right? I was doing personal development 20, well over 20 years ago, and now it's a thing. Everybody does it. I was doing conversations with souls 20 years ago, and people were like, that's a thing? Now it's all over the place. But the reality is, that's not the point. What the point is the universe always gives you the information you need now for the future so you can step into it, not what's currently going on and how to deal with it. And that's the difference. If you're looking for information on how to deal with where you are, you're not holding the energy appropriately. That's not the energy that's going to get you to fulfillment of your experiences. Your intention is about understanding that you're on an exploration. Your job is to fulfill the mission. So you have to, A, believe in the mission, and you have to believe that you're the one who's meant to fulfill it. And then it's recognizing that every experience you have is the universe saying, here, this will make it better. This will make it stronger. This will make it more fun. This will make it more dynamic. This will give you more of an opportunity to let the world see who you are. This will give you more opportunity to explore what you're capable of. Why? Because at the end, the fulfillment will actually matter. It will mean something. And that's the whole point, right? We're a society that is looking for a break. We're literally exhausted to the point where all we can think about is, I just need a break from my life. I just need a holiday. And that's how most people are approaching life. That's why you can't get to the fulfillment part. Because a break is not in alignment with who you are. It's recognizing that the life you've created is not a reflection of who you are, what's important to you, and how you actually want to live. Your life is exhausting you. Your life is exhausting you. That's the information from the universe that says, okay, so you're creating the future of human existence. It's why you're so exhausted. Create something better. Why would you want to create something better? Your brain is like, but I can't. I have to work this many hours because if I don't work this many hours, I can't pay my bills and I can't do this and I can't do that. So I have to stay in this job and I have to stay with this person and I have to keep doing this work. Here, the truth is you don't. But you have to hold the wisdom that you're meant for more, not just hope you're meant for more and wait for the universe to deliver it. This is your discovery. This is your exploration of who you are and what you're capable of. So you got to go out and you got to do it. That's what they were talking about by, leaving your job. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be so much easier. You can work whenever you want. No, you got to put in more effort because now there is no job description that you just have to go in and fulfill. Because not only do you have to do the job, but you have to actually create a job description and understanding what it is you need to do. And oftentimes that's every day. You're in a place, humanity is in a place, and you are part of humanity. And we are basically on the brink of extinction if we keep going in this way where we keep wanting a break. Why? Because we will literally shrivel up, right? Our energy is shriveled up. That's what's happening. If you don't let it out, if you don't explore who you are and explore your potential and follow your instincts, you feel that. You feel disconnected from everything. You're exhausted. You just need a break. Your body hurts. Your mind aches, everything. Nothing connects properly. And it's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's because you haven't allowed yourself to see the bigger truth, that you've fallen in to this big lie that this is how you have to live, even though you know it's not working for you. You know it doesn't feel right. I mean, how many people out there send their children to school without actually wanting to send their children to school every day? The children aren't happy, but they feel like a prisoner because that's their only way of being able to make money. They have to go to work so their children go to school. I know there's tons because they have reached out to me for years. The reality is we're living in a broken world, but humans are not broken. Humans are brilliant and they're connected to the universe. And they receive wisdom and guidance that is so pure and so accurate and filled with truth that it has the power and potential to change the entire human experience. That's where we are. But you have to want to participate in that. We can't wait on the sidelines and wait for someone else to do it. We all have to do it. And we got to jump in. And right now, it's your time. And how do you know how to help? How do you know where to start? Start to notice what's driving you crazy about the world. What frustrates you? Where do you feel like you're not seen, you're not heard, no one cares about you? Just notice it, because that's part of where you're meant to change the world. It's part of how you're meant to see it differently. You're meant to react differently. And remember, you're not changing the system that's there. If you could create a whole new system, what would you create in that area? Think about it. That system comes right down to ground zero. What would you create in its place? Let yourself explore. Let yourself be inspired. Don't worry about setting limits. Just go see what the exploration can bring. And remember that in your creation process, resist any and all urge to control any aspect of it. Do not put any control aspects in your creations. None, because humans are self-governing. We know what's right and wrong. The only reason people do bad things is because they're prisoner to the world that we live in. I mean, that's a full exploration all on its own. But for right now, I just want you to know, I want you to hear, I want you to feel that the reason you're an integral part of human existence is because the experiences that you are having right now, based on every experience you've ever had in your entire life, right? They've all prepared you for this moment to notice what drives you crazy, what doesn't work, what makes you feel not seen, not heard, not valued as a human being. Because that's the system that's got to change. And there's lots of them. There's lots of them. So what is it that you want to do every day? How do you want to eat? How do you want to take care of your body? How do you want to go to work? How do you want to communicate with other people? It's time. Let's go explore it and let that inspiration in. Remember, the annoyance, the agitation, those are good things. Those let you know where to look. But then you have to leave the agitation and the annoyance and the judgment. You got to leave it behind and focus on what you would do to change it without judging the people or the situation. Remember, we're not fixing a system. We are creating a new one. It is completely different. We're going to talk about it a lot more going forward. But ultimately, that's what shapeshifting is. That's what shapeshifting is, because you go back to the beginning where we talked about shapeshifting, right? Remember, matter and experience. So matter comes together, right? You set an intention. That is the intention is the energy first. And in that energy, there's a very specific magnetic charge. Every single human, every single soul, every single universal being in existence, every plant, animal, everything has a very specific, oh my gosh, magnetic charge in existence. Okay. And that magnetic charge determines the energetic and physical representation. And so when you want to shapeshift, it's understanding that your intention has to be pure. Your intention needs to be extremely pure in order for that experience to come through. So yes, you can, shapeshift into animals, into trees, into anything. Yes, those are fun things to do. But right now, you're literally learning how to use shape-shifting to create the future of human existence. And that's why you're not fixing something. You're changing the intention for human experience. That's what will create the future of human existence. That's how important understanding shape-shifting is. So if maybe you're interested, maybe forever you've been interested in shape-shifting. Maybe that's your jam. You just want to go and you want to experience dinosaurs and, dragons and all of these things. And it's really cool. And you think it's just fascinating and you want to be animal and you want to be a bird. But it's understanding that you have that instinct for a reason, because you are a part of the future of human existence. And now you need to use those instincts to create the future of human existence. I know it sounds big, but it's really simple. Anything universal is so simple. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep talking about all this stuff, but I need your feedback, guys. I need to know where you're at. I need to know if this is making sense or if we need more backstory, if you need more of whatever it is. Okay. So share your comments. Let me know your reactions to what we're talking about. And please share it. Share this with people you think are ready. Share all of it. Share the whole story of creation. I'd be forever grateful because it's part of my mission. But I also know that when we share the work of other people that we are inspired by, it raises our own vibration in the universe. It's just how it works. It's the reverberation effect. And I also wrote about that in Believe too. Thank you so much. I will see you next time for part 108 of the story of creation. This is Michelle Vickers, the Authentic Human Podcast. Bye for now.